Now, years later, you have 600 something customers, however number of customers you have. What is your current ideal customer profile?
Yeah, it's changed. I mean, like we've been, we've always been working with software and internet technology companies. That is kind of our core bailiwick. And I'll give you a funny story, part of the customer development stuff. So one of our first concepts that I gave you the concept and services on, we learned because we met a VC around here, and he's like, I love my head of engineering. And I was like, looked at him like, BS. No one does. No VC says that. All VCs like hate all their execs. This is not true, right? And so we found this person, and we said, well, what the hell to do, right? And he said, well, I make this chart. I was like, this chart? And he's like, well, like I pull this data every week, and I calculate this stuff by hand, and I have this chart, and I show this chart around where we spend our time. And the board decided to get out of a line of business because I was like, that's dope. That's a good chart. And so we take that to the next guy. We're like, would you like this chart? He's like, yeah. I'd like it if you make it automatically. Great, we'll make it automatically. So like that set us on a path. Now we went back though, and actually, so we learned from that early company that like, okay, this is what they did. They did it by hand. But along that journey, that company, which I don't think exists anymore, but that company ended up like the original we got the Genesis idea from was not a good customer for us because they were only at the root of it like 10 engineers, right? And they were they knew what everybody was doing, and they didn't really. I mean, despite the fact that we got the kernel of the idea from them, that was not our ideal customer. So like we learned in that kind of customer exploration phase in the first couple of years that like we generally do better as the companies get a little bit bigger, right? As they kind of introduce their layers of management and these things. And so so today we generally are a company that still is very much selling to software companies, internet technology companies. We started like selling to companies that look like us, kind of A/B round companies, but like, and they're still part of the portfolio, but more and more we're living in the publics and the bigger companies that are that part of it. And we're now crossing over to other industries besides software and internet technology. So and those companies are organized slightly differently. So we're learning about that. But as far as, the who are, that's the firmographic ICP, right? So I guess you'd call it kind of mid-market. Software and technology is still our concentration, I think, in finance speak, but we're kind of going up market and into other industries. But I also think that who's the person that's our economic buyer? It's the head of engineering, CTO, CPO is often our economic buyer. We jokingly say it's the person that's bickering with the finance folks for next year's headcount. But like, because they're the person that actually is responsible for like, we're spending all this money, what are we doing? But they're also the ones that actually don't have a lot of legs in understanding how we connect to the finance team or the board to make decisions around this stuff. So that's that is our economic buyer, but our users go all the way down to, like the entire team, the organization,
right,
whether it's
right.
managers and product managers and project managers and all those folks there on that stuff too. But our ICP is really for now is the kind of head engineering, head of CTO, head of product kind of person from persona perspective as our economic buyer. But we touch, lots of folks in the organization accordingly.